Welcome everyone to Port One Headlight, Port One, Maine. Beautiful lighthouse behind us. Here with Mendel.
Yep, there's a headlight.
And I'm Jesse, OSC Web Design.
We're here making sure that the ships don't crash into the side of the coast here, right?
Yeah, it's pretty useful.
Actually, that's what that lighthouse is doing. So this is a weird one today because we're on this, like, you can't see it, but we're on this rock. We're just kind of standing here out in the middle of nowhere.
Awkwardly standing here.
You've lived in Maine all your life?
Yes.
Okay, and you've lived around this area all your life?
Yep, give or take 50 miles, but many different schools in this general one spot.
Okay, tell me about how you started building businesses and when you started doing that.
Well, that goes really far back. I was thinking the other day, when I was about 7, we started doing door-to-door sales from the school, that type of thing. Started my own farm stand when I was 4th, 5th grade. Kept doing things like that until high school. And instead of going into college, I actually was able to open a gas station bait tackle shop locally.
Wait, okay, hold on. You opened a bait and tackle shop?
Yep.
Okay, so why were you so excited or so passionate about creating businesses? Clearly, most people that you said you were in high school?
Yeah, I was still in high school at the time.
Okay, so clearly most people that are in high school are not opening bait and tackle shops. So why did you decide to do that?
Especially when you don't fish.
Okay, so that's even stranger.
Odd. Yeah. I did it mainly because I like working.
Yeah.
That's the really big thing to me. So it kind of was a natural fit. I really liked the community already. I'd been living there for 4 or 5 years. Got to meet a lot of the people through that and help them, even if it was just pick out a fishing pole, tell them where the fish are at that time. It's all about the community to me. I really like that part of where the business was located, and of course making money and working 9 months a year and going and traveling was a lot of fun as well.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
Great experience.
So you've always been building businesses, but that was high school, and you're clearly not in high school anymore. In fact, maybe it's been a few years since then. So what did you do in between high school and starting OSC Web Designs?
There were a lot of businesses in the middle. So I did the gas station for 3 to 4 years.
Yeah.
I left there. Ended up opening a few more shops downtown Old Orchard Beach, which is a very touristy area. Had a great spot. The businesses failed horribly.
Okay.
We got out of there. Almost went bankrupt, so that's my failure story.
Yeah.
Ended up finding some other people, ran a restaurant, lobster pound ice cream shop for someone else. And when I joined on, he said, I came to him with a proposal of, I'll work for a commission, just give me a percentage of what we make.
Uh-huh.
To prove that I'm a good worker.
Right.
He said, you don't want that. Last year we lost $30,000. So unless you want to pay me to work, but he did give me the position, paid me, and we turned that around and we profited that year by quite a bit. So he was very happy. And then from there, I decided working 100 hours a week was no longer my forte, even though I actually really like it. But I had a daughter and I felt that being home with family is more important.
Okay.
So I kind of shifted gears. Then was able to finally take the step in opening OSC, just giving it a shot, and 4 years later.
So would you call it a bit of a lifestyle business?
What I'm in now
Yeah.
is definitely, that's exactly what it is.
How did you kind of launch yourself into the web from where you were at doing kind of random businesses?
Well, originally when I was probably 14 to 16, somewhere in there, I was doing websites, with frames and everything else.
Yeah.
And I had a passion for it. I really liked it, but there weren't any colleges to go to school for, and that kind of felt like you had to go to college. So I had this past love for it, and then I ended up working for my dad. That was in the middle there.
Right.
He needed a website, came to me and said, Jesse, you know computers, right? Why don't you just build us a website?
like how it happens with everybody, right?
Every single person, yeah.
You know how to fix, well, by the way, you know how to fix my antivirus too, right?
Yeah, so that's what kind of transition. I did that with him for a while before finally going out on my own.
Yeah.
So that's where it kind of all came back around.
Interesting. What helped you make OSC Web Design even better when you first started it based on your experience from when you were younger?
Yeah, I don't think it was in the very beginning, but I realized it more as I started talking to people. A lot of websites go online and they're just there to be informational. They're not really there to convert.
Yeah.
They're not set up that way. And I think the past experience, taking those businesses that were failing, turning them into something good, helped me realize that if you're going to invest money, you need to make money back. So how do we position your products in a way that helps customers, by maybe creating content around it, marketing their blog, what have you, that encourages their customers to come back, buy more things, and get the most out of the return.
So a lot of people start a business, but they start it because they made a website for their friend or for somebody that they work for, or did it on the side for a family member or something like that, and then they maybe accept less than they should accept for that business. And so you started off knowing that you needed to accept a certain amount of revenue for each unit that you sold, and was it that mechanized at that point, or
no?
Okay.
No, not at all. It was definitely the route I think every web designer has gone, which is, hey, you're my friend. I need someone in my portfolio. I'll give it to you half price of my $35 an hour. So you do whatever you can to get some things in your portfolio, and then you start building it up, get more confidence, and that's what I talked to people even yesterday at WordCamp Maine. This lady who. She said, yeah, I do a website, $300-400. And I just looked at her and said, stop, just stop. Because it's not helping you. You can charge more. And the reason you're charging more is create more value. Don't just charge more to charge more. But that's something you need to learn over time.
Okay, so.
It took me time.
Okay, so how do you create more value then? So what advice would you give somebody like her, like the person that came up to you yesterday, when they're charging $400 or $500 for a website? How do you create more value in that?
Well, I feel that when you undercut, eventually the client will keep asking you for things. They're going to say, what about doing this one more thing? And you're going to say, well, I only charge you $400.
Yeah.
So if you charge them the right amount up front, you can build all of that into it. And then along with marketing, giving them the Facebook, whatever social media, helping them blog, creating a plan for them. Whatever we can do to create that value and help encourage them to keep going with it.
Yeah.
This isn't a one-time build your website, call me back in 2 years, I'll build it again.
Right.
I think that way is broken, and we need to keep building upon that website.
So do you do service contracts? Do you do retainers? Do you do any of that stuff? Or?
We definitely do. A lot of our websites that we get are the one and done, it seems. But we are encouraging them to do more, even if it's on their own, even if it's creating their own content. And that's why we put out our blog, trying to just give them marketing tips. To me, if someone comes to our website and never buys from us, I'm okay with that. As long as they can take something away and go market their business better. To me, that's a success.
You started your business 4.5 years ago. Now things are going all right.
Yep,
right?
going great.
Business is growing. So what are some things that helped you to grow the business between your first step out into web development and now?
A lot of it came word of mouth in the beginning.
Okay.
It's a lot of delivering something that people are very happy with, and then staying with them, doing some of the retainer-based to keep them happy along that way. And they lead you to someone else who leads you to someone else, just keeping them happy. We just did some wedding invites and everything else for one of our clients because she was so happy with our design of our website.
Yeah.
And to me, that's a huge compliment. I mean, she's a wedding planner. So
Yeah.
this is what she does for a living. She could find someone, but she loved our design so much, she wanted to make us part of that.
That's cool. All right. So one last question for you.
Yep.
And that is, if you could give one piece of advice in one sentence or a compound sentence or whatever, if you could give one piece of advice to the people watching this, how to be better at life, how to be better at building a business for the first time or growing a business, what is that piece of advice?
Thought about this. It's 2 words. I'll expand on it. Respect and effort.
Okay.
Respect everyone, regardless, no matter what. And you always put 100% of your effort. That's something my dad taught me when I was real young, and I got like a C on a report card. He said, I don't care if it's a C as long as you tried your damnedest to get there.
Yeah.
I'd rather have that than an A+ and you didn't even care.
Yeah.
So effort is a huge thing.
Cool.
I respect everyone.
Sweet. Well, Jesse, thanks a lot. So we should.
How do you end this?
We just look at it really creepy. Like where you're just like big eyes or something. Like you just, and then you go towards it, you know? You're like,
Oh, okay.
oh, yeah.